So I know that I tweeted out on Twitter that I was going to take today off, but I just couldn't help it after watching Justin Fields' remarkable preseason debut. Yes, I know this is our second Justin Fields video in a row, but I am all aboard the Justin Fields hype train at this point because he literally has been checking off all of our boxes in regards to what we would want to see from a quarterback in the Chicago Bears offense. And it appears as though, I know it's very early and I don't want to jump on the hype train too excessively, but he has all of the tools to execute in Matt Nagy's offense, unlike the former number 2 overall pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, Mitchell Trubisky. So before we get to the content, I just wanted to let you guys know we're giving away multiple copies of Madden 2022 to anyone that follows us on Twitter and or Instagram, and we're also giving away a PlayStation 5 to a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel. Now that we got all that out of the way, break! Mike Mafia, for those of you guys that really know me and have been following me on Instagram and on Twitter, you know that my biggest kryptonite is I have trouble sleeping at night and I have severe muscle aches. And I think those are very atypical for a 27-year-old. So I tried melatonin, but I would wake up groggy as hell the next day and I would still have the muscle aches, and I don't even want to go the Brett Favre route. So that brought me to CBD, and thankfully I'm sponsored by Cannadip CBD, which is also a great alternative if you're trying to get off of tobacco dip, but I've never really used tobacco. So for me, I really like the benefits because it gets me to sleep faster, it relaxes me after a very long day, and it really helps me with muscle and joint pain, which I shouldn't be experiencing as a 27-year-old. But if you want to give it a shot, Cannadips is so confident in their ability to help you fall asleep that they gave me a promo code Mike20 to get you 20% off whenever you go to cannadipcbd.com. That's promo code Mike20 at Cannadip CBD. And trust me, if you're having the same issues that I'm having, this will change your life. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? So yesterday we made a video on just how Justin Fields is absolutely tearing it up in Chicago Bears training camp. As a matter of fact, Justin Fields was so good in training camp that multiple coaches that saw him actually said that he looked like the best QB in the Miami Dolphins and Chicago Bears joint training camp, which is kind of a shot at Tua Tagovailoa. Not that Tua can't become a better quarterback than Justin Fields, but that Justin Fields looks like a better quarterback than Tua so far. As the video progressed forward, we started to realize that, hey, there may be an opportunity here for Justin Fields because he also looked better than Andy Dalton in training camp, well, at least in the joint practices against the Miami Dolphins thus far, which is pretty cool because up until this point, it was kind of seen as a neck-and-neck competition. Andy Dalton was doing really well against his own defense in Chicago Bears training camp, but once he got to a foreign defense like the Miami Dolphins, that's when Andy Dalton started to struggle a bit, which kind of opens the door for Justin Fields just a tiny bit. Now, here's where it got really impressive. Justin Fields performed remarkably in his preseason debut, and I understand it's just preseason. I understand we shouldn't overhype preseason performances. I know that there are quarterbacks in the past that ended up being draft busts despite impressing in preseason, but again, I've been a huge believer in Justin Fields' game, and I feel like the Chicago Bears really got someone special when they traded up to select him. So when he took the field in the very beginning, I think Justin Fields, see what I did there? Took the field, Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields really had a unique opportunity to show all of the Chicago Bears and us what he was made out of, because in the very beginning, Justin Fields had a couple of passes that were almost picked off. And he definitely made some rookie mistakes, but here's the beauty of it. Justin Fields wasn't rattled by the situation. As a matter of fact, he just took it in stride, came back, and absolutely started carving defenses up. Fields would get the ball with 40 seconds remaining in the first half, and the beauty of the way he played the game was he didn't force any passes, and unlike Mitchell Trubisky, he seemed extremely poised in the pocket. You see, whenever Money Mitch was back under center for the Chicago Bears, he would have this tendency of completely panicking if his first read wasn't open and then opting for a read that just didn't make any sense that would typically result in turnovers. This in turn made Matt Nagy just look absolutely horrible as a head coach and just stagnated the Chicago Bears offense because, well, if Mitchell Trubisky can't do something as simple as finding his open reads and making accurate throws upon making the correct read, well, the Chicago Bears offense is absolutely screwed. Yes, on the back of David Montgomery last year, they were able to make some plays, but for the most part, this is a team that if they were able to draft the right quarterback, if Deshaun Watson was the man that they drafted at the number 2 pick, which I'm going to rule out Patrick Mahomes because we do have a what if video. What if the Chicago Bears drafted Patrick Mahomes, which if Bears fans want to cry, you could go and watch that. I actually think, considering the defense that the Chicago Bears had, this would have been a potential Super Bowl team. But the past is the past, and we are where we are currently. And not to get off on too much of a tangent, but I just couldn't help but make the comparison from Justin Fields to Mitchell Trubisky because Fields would just take what the defense was giving him. He wouldn't force anything, and he would make the right reads. And as he would continue to make the right reads, his confidence would start to build. And he had the ability to torch the Miami Dolphins defense in a plethora of ways, either using his arm to make the right throws or by using his mobility to make Matt Nagy's offense look significantly more multidimensional than it truly is. He has the ability to escape the pocket and extend plays, which he showed on his first rushing TD, but there were also moments where Justin Fields used the threat of his mobility to extend plays and create plays that wouldn't otherwise be there. There was a particular 3rd and 9 where Justin Fields was able to roll to the right, get the defender to commit towards him, because of course, if you don't, Justin Fields is really freaking fast and is going to scramble for a first down. At that point, he was able to throw a pass to Rodney Adams for a first down, and then eventually get another throw. That was a back shoulder throw to Rodney Adams for 25 yards, and then finally escaping pressure once again, and then scoring his first NFL touchdown via an 8-yard scramble. This isn't stuff that you could expect from Mitchell Trubisky. Like, think of everything I just said to you right there. A back shoulder throw, extending plays, making the right read. And all of his touchdowns were absolutely beautiful. He threw a 30-yard touchdown to Jesse James. And ultimately, to give you an idea, in 7 series, Justin Fields went 14 of 20 passing for 142 yards and a touchdown, which was good enough for a 106.7 passer rating. He also rushed 5 times for 33 yards and a touchdown. But that's not even the scariest part. Listen to what Justin Fields told reporters at the end of the game, saying that the game was actually kind of slow to me, if I'm being honest. I think I was expecting it to be a little bit faster, but practicing game speed, going at it with my teammates every day. Of course, you know we have a great defense, so me going against them every day, it definitely slowed the game up a little bit for me. So I felt comfortable out there. Of course, I have room to grow, so I'm just gonna try to get better each and every day. I think out of every quarterback in this year's NFL draft, there's no quarterback that will make a bigger effect on their potential team than Justin Fields on the Chicago Bears, because I always felt like the Chicago Bears were literally a quarterback away from being a superpower in the NFC. If you look at their defense, they have everything they need defensively, although they got marginally weaker in my opinion, at least in the defensive back region. They have a tremendous pass rush. They have awesome weapons offensively, and obviously, in my opinion, I do believe in Matt Nagy as a head coach, or at least as a man that could draw up efficient plays offensively. And I feel like Justin Fields is only going to make the Chicago Bears even more multi-dimensional. Now, if you want more of a deep dive on Justin Fields' game, I highly recommend you check out my brother Brett Coleman's video on him. This man is a genius. The way this man dives into film as he's drinking is something that I wish I could do if I was sober. He is an absolute mastermind, and I highly recommend you check him out. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and let me know if you want me to cover any other debuts tonight. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.